Hey guys, Dane here from Moving to Canada. I am back again with yet another update about how coronavirus is shaping Canadian immigration policy. I'm filming this at about 1 p.m. Eastern Time, so 1 p.m. Montreal time on Saturday, March 21st. We have some clarification as to who will be able to enter Canada, who will be able to cross the border into Canada. Both by land, so the Canada US border, as well as through air travel. There have been some important updates to who is able to cross into Canada that have come out in the last 24 hours. So we wanted to make sure that you are up to date with the most recent information. For those of you who aren't aware, Canada this week has taken some exceptional measures to mitigate the spread of the coronavirus across the country. One of the big exceptional measures which has been taken has been the decision to close the Canadian border to foreign nationals. So the vast majority of foreign nationals are no longer able to cross into Canada, whether by plane or across the land border with Canada and the United States. The Canada US border was actually closed about 12 hours ago to all non essential travel. Now, all week we've been getting questions from people in a variety of situations asking, am I still able to cross into Canada in this situation? There have been conflicting policy updates from different government officials throughout the week. What appears to be happening is that it's taking some time for various government departments to communicate with one another and arrive at a definitive answer as to exactly who is exempt from the travel ban. But we did have an update yesterday afternoon. Chrystia Freeland, Canada's Deputy Prime Minister, suggested some new exemptions would be put in place during a press conference. And then as of about 9 p.m. last night, we had Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada, that's Canada's official immigration department of the government, IRCC, published their guidelines as to who is exempt from these travel restrictions. And there are some new exemptions, so I'm going to go over those with you right now. A few things that we already knew as far as exemptions are concerned: Canadian citizens, Canadian permanent residents, and their immediate family members will be able to cross into Canada. If you are outside of Canada right now, immediate family members include spouses, common law partners, dependent children, and the children of dependent children. So if you meet one of those exceptions, you are still able to cross into Canada. As well, the new exemptions which were announced last night include temporary foreign workers. Okay, temporary foreign workers, and that includes seasonal agricultural workers, fish and seafood workers, as well as caregivers. So if you've been issued a work permit through the temporary foreign worker program, you will still be able to enter into Canada. As well, international students. Okay, international students, but not all international students, only those who held a valid study permit or had been approved for your study permit when these travel restrictions initially took effect, which was March 18th. So if you had your study permit or you were approved for it by March 18th, you will still be able to cross into Canada. Finally, and this is a question we've been getting a lot about COPR holders. So if you have your confirmation of permanent residence, IRCC has announced permanent resident applicants who had been approved for permanent residence before these travel restrictions were announced, so that is March 16th. So if you had your COPR before March 16th, but you've not yet traveled to Canada, you will still be able to travel to Canada to activate your permanent resident status. Okay, that's big news. I know we've been getting some people asking about that. If you're approved after March 16th for permanent residence, you will not be able to enter at this time. IRCC has stated if you have a travel document which is going to expire and you're unable to come to Canada because of that expiry, fill out the IRCC online web form, provide as many details as possible. We do know that IRCC has been giving some applicants extensions on their travel documents. Cannot guarantee that that will happen for everyone, but they have been issuing some extensions due to this coronavirus situation. The other caveat that I wanted to announce here is that Canada is in a public health crisis. The world is experiencing a global public health pandemic. So it is not a great time to travel. If your travel is not necessary, if you are safe where you are and able to stay where you are, it's better to stay where you are than to travel to another country unless you absolutely have to at this point. If you're Canadian, a Canadian citizen or Canadian permanent resident, the Prime Minister has been urging Canadians to come home, but be aware that you will go through heightened screening measures if you are symptomatic and if you present with symptoms of coronavirus and you try to board an aircraft, you will be denied boarding to Canada. And no matter what, you will be asked to self-isolate for 14 days once you arrive back in the country. So there are some additional screening protocols and additional isolation protocols in effect right now. So those are the main updates that we've got here. I will refer you guys to our coronavirus news feed where we are posting up-to-date information as it becomes available. You can't tell, this situation is evolving incredibly quickly. There are changes happening every day. This is our third video that we've posted this week because we keep getting changes and clarifications to the announcements that have come out already. So if you want the most up-to-date information, make sure that you check out that news feed. It's linked in the description of this video. That's where you can get the most up-to-date information about Canadian immigration policy. Great. And we do have on that page some answers to common questions, things like what do I do if my application deadline is approaching and I can't get my documents? Are they still issuing invitations for things like IEC and Express Entry? So you can check that out for all of your most common questions. If we don't have the answers to your questions on that page and you do have questions that you'd like answered, drop them in the comments here. We are paying attention to what our community members are asking, and we're doing our best to research and get you answers to your questions that are backed up by objective, credible sources like IRCC, like the Government of Canada. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I wish you all the best, whatever you're experiencing this week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll come back to you as soon as we've got another update. Thanks.